My, what a time to be a Constructicon and Devastator fan, right? Look at this guy, dude. This is Dream Stars Toys' Shovel Fighter. Wow, super duper stylized. And by the way, I love when people who do the box art add like the sense of realism, like the sparks and the scraping and stuff. That's so neat. And on the back over here, you can see him in his various modes. And of course, we're going to look at him out of the box. And I don't have a ton of experience with Dreamstars toys, but I remember their Superion, and it was super duper stylized and a ton of presence. And so I'm pretty sure this guy's going to embody those same qualities. And so let's pop him open. All right, here he is out of the box. And dude, he looks magnificent. He's different than the standard Constructicon in terms of the colors. He doesn't have the lime green. He is more of like a pine green. That is insane. I'm kind of digging this. It kind of has like a military vibe almost. And like, man, look at all that rich detail on the chest. You can like read all those letters down there if you really, really zoomed in. It's incredible. It's incredible, man. And he's heavy. He's heavy. I can feel that the toes are metal. The tires are kind of like this faux rubber. I'm not exactly sure where all the weight is coming from, but boy, he's hefty. He's a hefty lefty. And you can see over here all the bits, the tires, the alt mode bits are all kind of hidden within. There's a lot of fold out gimmicks going on in the feet. There are a lot of double hinges, as you can see down over here as well. The transformation, oddly enough, it's like intuitive because it's scrapper, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of panels and flaps. And so when we do the transformation, I will be using the instruction. I was about to call them the Instructicons. Dude, that'd be so cool if you had instructions that turn into robots, the Instructicons. Anyway, I'll be using the instructions to transform him. This bit over here, this is primarily used for the combining port and also to secure aspects of the vehicle. Same thing for this over here as well. There's a lot of things that help secure different flaps and bits and pieces in place. And so it never feels like something's just like kind of dancing and hanging in the wind. This is pretty cool too. The shovel actually folds up, compresses, and expands for the transformation. There's just so much style about this. Like this has to have been developed by some type of person with a keen eye for art. And I just love the contour on the arms. I mean, they didn't have to design it like this, but just the way the angles work, it's just so pleasing to the eye, at least for me. I mean, it's really nice. I will say it's not perfect like most toys are. Like this bit over here that hangs off, like I haven't really had an issue with it, but in alt mode, it's supposed to not tab in, but it's supposed to slot into a hole. But this is one of the only pieces that doesn't really do that. But it's not an egregious eyesore. It still looks fine, you know. And he has a ton of ratchets about him, like the legs. These are on like ratchets, but you can hear that they're tiny teeth, right? And there's also it's ratchets and friction, and so it's aiding you to get in these really expressive poses and not having them necessarily fixed in one place. The swivel is really tough. I mean, it's very tight, and so well, let me just kind of manipulate these tires out of the way so I can lift up his arms a little bit more. And you will encounter a lot of collision bits. Like if you want the arm to go up a little bit more, you'll have to move the shovel out of the way. But you can see that he does have great articulation. This bit swings open, and so because of that, when you swivel the leg, you really want to be gripping the inside of the thigh and kind of moving it together. And the legs, they do have double jointedness. Like they do have a double jointed knee, but again, there is a lot of collision going on over here. And you hear those delicious ratchets, right? Man. And it's so necessary because like I mentioned before, the heft that's on him. And so really well thought out toy. It's one of those things like, you know, when you get a good toy and you realize the manufacturer had done a previous project, it almost evangelizes you to check out that one too. You know, it's like, oh, wow, your burgers are good. What about your steak? Like, you know, it's kind of one of those things. And so it's kind of helping sell its brethren. But I am curious to check out Dreamstars Toys' Superion, especially folks who have reviewed them. But yeah, man, it's just really beautiful. I just love the detail that thing is decorated with, you know. The hands, the fingers are like partially, like individually segmented. The trigger finger is, and over here these are not, but it's completely fine. Yeah, and they feel fine. The quality material like all feels good. Like I don't feel I'm going to break anything or anything like that. These are not on ratchets. They're on frictions, but they're fine. They do a double hinge thing, and there's a bit over here that splits open that when you go into transformation, it functions differently, both for the alt mode and for the combined mode, which I think is very cool. And the combined mode feels very secure. Alt mode feels very, very secure, and we're probably gonna go and progress into that soon. But yeah, man, so many bits and pieces that are just kind of folded and hidden up, yet it just looks really nice and very, very complete and compact in robot mode. It's really quite a piece of art, and some not a jigsaw puzzle necessarily, but there are puzzling elements to it that made it fun and challenging at the same time without it being frustrating. And so yeah, without further ado, let's oh let me show you the blaster. But yeah, right after that, we'll go directly into the transformation. The way the blaster is going to adhere is, and it also stores in alt mode. I don't think it stores in combined mode, but you can see that there's a little slot. It will slide and tab into the hand. Then you can just bring the thumb around on the other side, and yeah, it fits in just fine. Just customize the grip. There you go. There you go. That's nice, man. Beautiful gold on the black. And again, he is a Constructicon. He certainly is. He's certainly Scrapper, and he has all of that just like personality about him, you know, like presence about him. But he's something different. He's something different, dude. These guys have something going on. Man, it's so hard. There's so many great Constructicons out there. Mecha Invasion, Studio Cell, Dreamstar Toys. We have the Hasbro version. There's like core versions coming out, Legends class. There's just so many things, and so it's a good time to be a fan. And so, all right, without further ado, now let's get on to the transformation. Whoop, whoop. Hey, really quick with the commercial break from our sponsor, TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your mecha needs from first, second, third, fourth party. They also do upgrades as well. You're not going to find a lot of sites that cater to different tastes and needs. tfsafari.com, and if you do go there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right corner of the screen and save yourself a little bit of change, man. They are a very reliable vendor. They are out of China. They ship to you in about 2 weeks, super sturdy boxes, and yeah, tfsafari.com. Can't say enough nice things about them, and so thank you so much, TF Safari, for sponsoring this video. All right, we'll start with him in his neutral state. Dude, I love the head sculpt, by the way, and I love the paint on him. It's like a shiny, glittery type of paint, but anyway. So we're going to start by bringing the shovel back. And you don't have to fix it in a certain position. You're just getting stuff out of the way. And on top of this, you're going to be bringing this down as well. And the reason that you're doing all of that is you see these bars over here. These are going to unhinge from the chest. And maybe I can do that right now. And you will need a spudger in certain areas like this. This is hard to open up. And so you're trying to undo that, and you're trying to free up that space back here because they will open up and they will tab in together with themselves. But let me just get that in there, Jared. Yeah, very, very tight connection. And so highly, highly recommend a spudger because you can see I'm having difficulty. And plus, I don't want to use my nails, dude. I've busted my nails so many times. There we go. There we go. All right. And they are connected, as you can see, by those 3 dots. Over here, you can see that there are 3 holes. And the reason for that is that these bits will then come together and connect with each other on the back side. Like so. And so from here, I mean, your main goal is really to fix these together, and the arms you're going to want to be facing down. I mean, you can do the perfect adjustment and alignment later on, but for the time being, that's your biggest goal right now, just to get these to affix together. All right, next we're going to work on the chest. And what you're going to do is you're just going to dislodge this whole thing. You're going to separate it from here, and you're also going to get this top part dislodged. There you go. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera. Because he's a big boy. He's a big boy, and my space is limited. This part, this belly bit, you're going to lift up, and then you're going to fold that section in here. And the first time I did this, this actually gave me a lot of trouble because I couldn't figure out what the instructions were trying to tell me. And so what you're going to do is you're going to bend that back, and you're going to flip this whole bit over. And as you're doing this, you're going to lift this part out. Now the head. What you want to do with the head is, you see that there's a little button, there's a hole back over here. This bit is going to tab, or at least it's going to rest in there. So you want to bring this down Then you want to bring that down and just have it like that. As I mess with the camera again. Cool. And so now we are done with the canopy section. All right, I flipped him over to his back, and the next piece, it's a bit hard to show on camera, but you see that little slot, right? These two tabs that have come together are going to fit in there. This can only come down a certain amount, and so this you're going to be raising up. So let me see if I can show you. You're going to push this up, and because they are on like hinges that move left and right, you just got to make sure that it's perfectly aligned, and there you go, and then you can push it in there. And you can see, or can't see, but it's tabbed in. The next order of business is, you see that there are two slots up here, right? Those are going to fit into this section, and then this part will actually come down because this can no longer move. And for the time being, we can move the kind of like tires out of the way so that it doesn't collide with that. Okay, so now that we've gotten the clearance, you're going to press this down, and that's going to lock into place. And the last bit is, I'll show you in a second, but we're going to undo the arms. And you see these little buttons up here, right? These posts, they're going to plug into that part, but just give me 1 second. All right, next we're going to work on the arms, and I've done one of them already just because the orientation was confusing me. And so what you're going to do is you're going to grab this and you're going to spin it 360. And after that, you are going to open, you're going to open this bit up, but it's hard to do with one hand. There you go. And then you're going to open that, and you're going to extend this out, and then you're going to grab the fist, you're going to spin it around, and then you're going to tuck it into that channel right here. And this is when I wish I had like a third arm, dude, or like a tail. It would help me do stuff. I would love to have a tail. That'd be so tight, like a Dragon Ball tail. You know what I'm talking about? Like a monkey tail. I'd be able to like grip the spudger with like the anyway. I've talked about this way too many times, and my friends are like, dude, what's up with you and tails and having additional appendages? And okay, so now you see that there's a little dot right over there. There's a little port. What you're going to do is you're going to bend this up, and then you're going to get that to sit right in there. I hope I showed that on camera. If not, I can do it right over here. We're going to bend this up and then get that to sit right in there. And now this whole section in the front, that is just really, really nice and secure. So many locking points, and so really well done, Dreamstar Toys. And finally, to lock everything in place, you're going to bring these down. And I kind of did the orientation wrong. So the wheel will kind of bow out with the arm. And there's a little tab in there. Like you see that right there? That's going to lock into a channel on the tire. What's the difference between a wheel and a tire? I don't know. Maybe tires are smaller for bikes. And for this one, for some reason, I can't get it to come around. Okay, there we go. And then we'll just sit that in there. You see that? So now everything is locked into place where it needs to be. Cool, and that's the front. Now the next step is we're going to push this down. This actually helps secure the bot in various modes, and that's why you can see that there's a couple of different posts over there. We're going to lift this up so that we get the clearance to do it, and then we're going to bring this down. And then afterward, we can have this sit down again. I believe it's like that, because that will allow the tractor bit to sit like so. And this, you can actually see there's a button, there's a post, and there's a port that you orient this properly, and it will sit in there. I promise you, it will. Let me just do it right now. There we go. And so you can see the shovel bit all together, and just look how beautiful that is, man. So clean. It's so clean. But now we're going to work on this other section over here. I think the legs might be the most trickiest, but once you kind of get them, you kind of get them. All right, as I mentioned earlier, this bit is the combination port, right? And it's on a hinge over here, but it's also tabbed in. And so for this section, what you're going to do is you're going to undo that tab and you're going to free this up. And this bit be mindful of later on, because in some instances it's hidden, and other instances it is out. But for now, we'll keep it out like this. Similar to the arms, I've already done one of the legs already, or at least the initial portions, just to help guide me. And so what you're going to do is you're going to get this bit and you want it to flip over to the other side. In doing so, initially you're going to find that there's collision, but what you want to do is it's on a spring, and so you can pull out and then you can flip around, and you just want to kind of keep this at the front for now. And then from here, this bit, the sole of the foot, you can see is tabbed in right there. So you undo that tab, which will allow you to open all of this up, and you can actually swing it forward. There we go. And so after opening all of that up, you can bring the tire out. The tire is on a sliding bar, and so just kind of keep that in mind. And so this is what it should kind of look like for the time being. Almost forgot. You got to raise this section up. Same for the other side. All right, we're kind of at the home stretch, and what's actually going to happen is this whole bit is going to swing through to the other side and help the legs connect. But before we do that, I actually forgot one more aspect of the leg, and that is this bit. Remember the thighs that I talked about earlier? What you're going to do is you're going to untab them, and then you're going to swing them out. Because what's going to happen is once they swing over, it's going to close in on itself. As you can see, the corresponding ports and posts over here. And so, yeah, and then the legs, we're just going to bend them back. But let me clean up a couple of things first. All right, as you can see, I've gotten one side done. And same as the other things, I just wanted a little bit more confidence as I put this together for you guys on camera. And so pay attention to all the different areas in which it plugs in. Right there, right there, right there. That tab and this this post. And so the transformation is not difficult. Also, the wheel will lock in on that area like so. The transformation is not difficult. The alignment is probably where you're going to find it trickiest. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up, and then we're going to close that in here. Bend it on, bend it on the double hinge. And get this to all come up. So as you're compressing this down, this foot will need to tab in over here, so you can actually kind of bring this up. There we go. My bad. Dude, I gotta keep this I gotta keep this in the shot. Always gotta remind myself. Okay, and then from here, this is on a hinge, and so you can bring this out, and that has to go into that little hole, but it's not right now. So I may need to just press down the arm a little bit, or bring this up. Oh, I may need to bring it up. There it goes. I forgot that I had to tab it in right there, and once that's tabbed in, now it should line up, please. I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty, actually. The other side lined up real well. Real well. Just give me 1 second. Oh, here was the issue. The foot had to clear the forearm section. Now there we go. Huh? All right, well, we're just going to do that. We're going to do the foot last. And then we're going to keep this open. And that is going to plug into that little post right there. Perfect. And what else? Got to get the canopy straight. Make sure that the head is still plugged in there. That's still plugged in there. Oh, and there's a couple of bits that will unfold, like all of this area. Okay. So now that has to go in there as well. Yeah, that's the hardest part about this, just aligning stuff, and you're not really, and it has to be perfectly aligned. There you go. There you go. Otherwise, it's not going to plug in. And not being able to see it, that's the most difficult part. But all right. There we go. There we go. And this is one of the things I was telling you about, where I can't really get it to plug in. It's supposed to do that, but it doesn't. But I don't know, man. It's so minor that I don't really care about it. So, oh, and this. I got to undo it because this has to be on the outside. That's unfortunate. I didn't see that when that was happening. But, all right, I'm not going to subject you to this on camera. Give me a sec. All right, there we go. It's a lot easier than I thought. And then you're going to make sure that this is down and this flap locks that in place. There is a long post, by the way, underneath here. It doesn't plug into anything. It is just a support beam. And this looks crooked for some reason. Priz. Don't tell me I gotta undo this whole thing. Oh, the other side came undone too, that's why. Okay, I'm not gonna subject you to this on camera either. All right, sorry about that. And final steps, this. Yeah, it's supposed to do that. But I think this has to come in first because I see a little tab thing over here. So you could bring these in. And it's going to cover that combination port. Just double hinge them on the joint. Okay, now bring that up. And then close this in around it. Nice and secure. Yeah, I find myself doing like the MGO voice. Nice and secure. Like every now and then, right? Second verse, same as first. But I mean, like, hey, he's a huge inspiration of mine, so. This is supposed to be able to tab in here, but I'm encountering some type of clearance issue that I can't quite figure out. And at this point, I think I don't have any more patience. All right, I'm gonna try really quick. All right, I got it. The OCD in me wouldn't let it go. So here we have Mr. Shovel Fighter in his alt mode. Nice and compact, right? Can you believe that super svelte, like superhero looking like robot converted into this? Let's give him the roll test. Rolls pretty good for the most part, but I think there's a little bit of drag. I mean, granted, I'm on an uneven surface over here, so if I were to compress everything, I would like to say he rolls like a champ, but whatever, dude. I'm not going to risk scraping any of this beautiful paint down over here. But yeah, very, very, very nice, right? It's not that difficult. I almost snorted. I was like, it's not that difficult, but it's just, especially the legs, getting that alignment right and putting these things in unique positions to get them to tab in, because it is very secure. Nothing is, you know, popping off, moving out of the way. As you can see, it cleans up very, very nice. I absolutely love the fact that there are so many secure areas for just everything to kind of sit, you know, for the legs to tap in. Yes, it was a pain in the butt, but for the legs to kind of connect, for the arms to connect here, 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 that spine in the middle, that connected everything. I'm very happy when alt modes have that. It's almost like some type of skeleton on the inside. And it also is like a map. It helps you understand that you're on the right course. When everything's tabbing in place, you're like, cool, everything's positioned properly. Stuff over here to seal this together, just really well thought out. Like I said, the only minor gripe is that thing. But it's so minor and so negligible. It's, I don't know, man. It doesn't even bother me that much. And this, if you wanted to, you can have it extend out, full shovel play action. To your heart's content. Yeah. The alt mode is not that difficult from here, but what happens is this section opens up, obviously. The arm, surprisingly enough, will do something. You know how Scrapper's arms, they usually just hang down and to become the stilts or the heel. These will become the heels, but they'll do it differently. And I'll show you all of that. And this will also fold up in the front like so. and it'll also compress on itself, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so anyway, we'll get to that in just a second. But one more time, yeah, this has been his alt mode, and let's get him into his combined mode. Oh, almost forgot, weapon storage. Yeah, totally forgot to show you that. And so you just pop it out, and the handle plugs into that little hole that you see right over there, right? Yeah, totally forgot to show you that. All right, to convert him into the leg mode, we're gonna start by flipping him around. You can see I've done some work over here already. We're gonna undo the toe, and this section you are going to open up again. And this section also, let me get a spudger in there, you are going to separate from this area. And the reason you're doing that, it's primarily one, you want to free up this, but we are doing it so that we can open up this section, and that is so that we can free up the arms. You see how this bit is like locked in over here? That's what we're ultimately trying to open up. There we go. There we go. Because like I mentioned earlier, the arms need to be free. And so that's how you want the configuration to look right now. Oh, and I forgot to do it over here. There you go. Like that. All right, now that the arms are free, we're going to untab them from this central area where they were locked in place before I'm going to take a dump. All right. just kind of free them up. And then this, oops, that'll remain there. You're going to bring this up, and you see there's those channels. They are going to sit into the tabs on the canopy, or whatever you call that, the pilot seat, the driver's seat. And we'll just leave that there for now. All right, as you can see, I've converted one of the arms already, and so what you're going to do is you're going to bring this out, almost as if you want this to kind of like touch down over here, but ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to free up this thing. There we go, there we go. And after you free that up, you're going to bring this all the way, and don't worry if this becomes like untapped and stuff like that. We'll figure that bit out later. You're going to bring this all the way up, and you want these bits to be revealed at the back. And this, you see that little button there? That's going to plug in right there, that little port. And this is going to come up, same thing with that button. That port, you're going to plug it in to that centerpiece. So this spine thing, this, and this thing over here that we're going to see later, they're all very important in terms of keeping the structural integrity. And I think it's just a brilliant design. If I could keep this in shot and show you guys. And so, yeah, that's what it should be looking like right now. I'm just taking a look at the tires right now to make sure that they're still aligned properly. But we'll figure that out later. We'll figure that out later. All right, cool. All right, remember this bit? And I said stuff is going to plug in here to secure. Now is the time. And so we're going to take the lower button, the lower port, and we're going to bend this in, and you're going to have that plug in there basically. And that's going to hold that in place, and that's going to help support all the weight. And you can see it's flush right over here, right? That looks very good. And this, I think it folds up like that. All right, we're going to pop this latch open, and then we're going to get in here, and we're going to have to open this up. Actually, maybe you don't need to pop this latch open. I think it's only this section. And it's going to be tough because, just a little tough because it's plugged into that back section as well. I mean, yeah, they've gone out of their way to make things very secure, but that also makes it somewhat difficult to undo at times. But that's fine. I would prefer that. It's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable. And then from here, after we've got that open, we're going to split this section. And this is, again, where you just need spudgers, spedgers. And, dude, I've broken... In doing these toy reviews, I've broken more nails than I have in my entire lifetime. Real talk, doing this type of stuff. And so, anyway, so we bring this out, and you can see this is the connection bit that's going to adhere to the thigh, the knee rather, and thigh once we get to it. Then we're going to bring this bit up. I believe that this is going to be some type of like knee joint that has some type of piston and hinge attached to it. And if that's true, that is very cool. That is very, very cool. And then so from here, we're going to close everything up again. Get that to sit there. This, I believe, will also close in again. Yeah. Almost forgot to do that. So cool. And again, everything plugging in on itself. Like I talked about this when we do like bot bends, the more connections that you have connecting into one another, everything is just reinforcing everything, you know? And so the last step, believe it or not, which is a trip, is, I don't know if these come down. They might. But this, like, I figured this was all done. No. This actually folds down over here, and I think it's to provide additional clearance or a connection method or something like that, but that's the final bit. That comes down, and dude, you have a very, very, very solid, chunky monkey foot. And that's it, man. I don't think the blaster incorporates into any specific area. I mean, I'm wondering if you can just put it back where it was. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, no. This gets in the way. I don't know. Maybe there's some type of like blaster combination gimmick. Either way, doesn't really matter. That's a nice looking foot. And I can't wait to see the rest of the set. Yeah, it's going to be glorious. Anyway, thanks for your time today. That was a long one, huh? I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope it was fun for you. And I hope it actually helps you make an informed buying decision. All right. Thank you so much.